Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Arasaka Starter Gang for Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone from Monster Fight Club and our Talsorian games. Now, this is an expansion to the miniatures game that was released earlier this year. It is, if you don't feel like playing one of the gangs out of the starter set, then this gives you the option to play the Arasaka Corporation, which, according to the Cyberpunk fandom wiki, they deal in corporate security, banking, and manufacturing. So obviously these are going to be sort of like your corporate security types, but also it's a pretty big mega corporation, so they get all sorts of cool gear and toys as well. But the purpose of this review is to look at the miniatures now that I've gotten them assembled, and let you know if I had any issues during the build or what I think about the final build as it is. Now, before we get started, do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I try to put out a few videos each week covering all sorts of tabletop gaming content, whether it's miniatures, board games, card games, anything in between, and I'd love for you to come along and see what we have to share. In addition, down below, there are going to be links to Amazon, Drive-Thru RPG. They're affiliate links, and they help out the channel if you choose to use them. But regardless, we're glad you're here, and hope you enjoy it. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start with our first model, which is the team lead. Now, all of the gangs do have to take a leader, and out of your starter set, this is going to be the guy that you have. Now, also, all of my miniatures, I did not put them on the official bases they come with. With that said, I put them on 1-inch bases, which is about 25 millimeters, and the official bases are actually about 26 or 27. So technically mine are a little bit small, but I'm not too worried about it because essentially I'm just going to end up playing at home, and whoever I play with will probably use my own stuff, so not really a big loss. But just in case you were wondering if you were going to call that out, that's why it happened. But they were some fun 3D printed bases. I like using them, so there we are. Overall, I really like the model. I like the positioning with the two swords. Lots of detail on this one. There is a bit of a mold line, as you can see on the back of the leg. And I will admit, I don't always clean up the models. Partly I did that because for review purposes, I want you to see what they are normally going to look like. Obviously, the amount of work that you want to do as far as cleaning up the models will vary based on the individual. Another thing to keep in mind is that these are, I'm not 100% sure if these are Seocast or just something similar. And while they're very good, you do get lots of detail. I have noticed a decent amount of manufacturing. I don't really want to call them defects, like a mold line, something like that isn't really a defect to me, but it is going to require extra cleanup. And unlike a regular hard plastic, the cleanup on the plastic for Seocast is a bit harder to work with because it's soft, so you can't just scrape it many times because sometimes it'll just fold over. So do keep that in mind. But that's the biggest problem on the team leader. Otherwise, he looks really good, heavily armored, very, corporate looking. All in all, I really like the guy. So that is the leader. All right, next up we have the heavy support operative. Now, this guy comes with the heavy Arasaka rotating cannon. He looks like a tank. Very much heavily armored, even more so than the team lead. This guy was pretty easy to put together. I cannot recall, honestly, any issues getting him, to hold right, to, I didn't have to worry too much about pieces coming off. I think for the model, he's leaning back a little bit too much for my taste, but overall, it looks fine. Again, lots of really good details. One thing I do like on all of these, they've got that Arasaka logo on the chest. While it does stick out a decent amount, as you can kind of see there, overall, it does actually look pretty good. So that's nice to see. It's very close to the card. But yeah, so that is the heavy support operative. All right, now we have the heavy assault response unit. He comes with a heavy SMG, and honestly, that's kind of all there is to it. I like the model. It kind of has actually a very alien look to it. Looks like it's sort of set up for either hazard environment operations or outer space, something like that. Looks like it's a full, containment suit that he's in. But yeah, overall, it's a good model. Looks nice. I don't really have a whole lot to say on this one. That is one issue that you run into with armored figures, is that a lot of times they kind of look a lot alike. Still really, really good detail. You can see a lot of the rivets. They do really well on the CO cast does come out generally well. You just do have some of those molding issues. So, but yeah, nothing really to complain about this guy. I like it. It'll be fun to paint up. All right, now we've got the Arasaka Point Man. Now, this is actually kind of nice. I like the posing. Obviously with a Point Man, you get what they're going for here is sort of like a tactical squad, using hand signals, advancing forward, things like that. I like the different helmet that looks more, kind of a cross between a samurai helmet, but then also a standard, basically like a ball cap, kind of like what I'm wearing now. Definitely some nice posing. He's leaning a little much, but otherwise that's fine. It could also be because he's, on a bit of a raised bit on the base. But overall, I like the figure. I actually very much prefer these heads with this ball cap style. But yeah, it's, again, the Arasaka, highly detailed, just fun corporate security type. So that is the Point Man. All right, next up we've got the Tactical Response Specialist. This guy I actually really like. He's got his rifle, carrying it crossbody. Again, the helmet that I just said that I liked a lot. A very nice pose. He's, keeping low, advancing forward. This is, of the set, this is probably my favorite. I realize that the team lead is supposed to be kind of like the cool looking one. But this guy is actually one of my favorites. Again, combine the helmet, everything else. It's just a nice, solid, armored troop unit. Would be nice to have a few extra of these. I'll probably have to pick some up from Monster Fight Club eventually. But yeah, just a nice, solid trooper. So that is the Tactical Response Specialist. All right, and last up we have the Technical Specialist. Now this is the net runner for the Arasaka team. The posing is a little bland. He's just standing upright, rifle, at a low ready. But I like the different, it's actually kind of a cross between the helmet that we just saw on the last couple of models, but then it also has sort of, I'm going to call it the Netrunner faceplate. probably the completely wrong terminology. I don't care, but for the guy who's going to need more head-up display information for computers and hacking and that kind of stuff, I like the look that they're going for there. I'm definitely going to have to figure out how I want to paint that, because I think I can come up with some fun ideas there. But yeah, so that is the technical specialist. And that completes it. So that's all 6 models for the Arasaka faction for Cyberpunk Combat Zone. All right, now for the final bit, let's take a look at the cards that you're going to get in the expansion pack. Now, keep in mind the expansion pack is going to run you $50, so a little bit less than $10 a model, which is not too uncommon, but you're also going to get the additional cards, whether it's the unit cards, the objective cards, gear, loot items, things like that. You're getting more than just the figures. So overall, $50 isn't too bad for a starter set, but also look around. Maybe you can find some deals. So one of the first things is you're going to get a unique scenario card that applies to the faction in question. So like this is corporate espionage. Street Trash has stolen proprietary Arasaka data. Get it back, and there will be upward mobility opportunities. Exactly what a corporate security drone wants to hear. So, anyways, it's going to give you your setup. Basically what you have to do to win and what happens in the campaign if you lose. So, that is the campaign card. For the unit cards, let's focus a little better. All right, so for just the basic cards, obviously we have one each for the team lead, the heavy support operative, the assault response suit, the point man, tactical response specialist, and the technical specialist. For upgrade versions, we have an upgraded tech specialist, an upgraded team lead, upgraded tactical response specialist, 2 point man upgrades, and a heavy assault response suit, and a heavy support operative. So that's pretty common. Usually the sets are going to have at least 1 upgrade per figure. Very rare to have more than 1 that has 2. We then have all of the different objectives for the faction. So objective: win a game, or use the corporate credit card to equip loot, end the game with control of 2 or more quarters. So again, just different things for you to focus on and unique to that. All right, now finally we've got the small cards that come in the deck. So it's going to be your hacking programs. So we've got neural activator, aerial strike, responsive suits, magnetic shielding, and linked tech, with their rarity on the back. Different loot that you can find, whether it's extra mags. Some of this, I believe, is repeated. I have not gone through and memorized all of the different, loot decks. But I believe some of this is going to be repeated and not necessarily unique. But then you do have unique gear for your faction. So this is the Arasaka gear. Shotgun, air hypos, sniper rifles, heavy pistols, Arasaka's quick strike blade, IR goggles, med scanner. Obviously, I'm just kind of zipping through this real quick. Constitution Hurricane assault weapon. Kind of crazy. So, but overall, it's just a bunch of gear, different equipment that you can use to customize your Arasaka gang in a campaign. So, Overall, the models on this one were actually really solid. They were very easy to assemble. Not a whole lot of mold issues. It is just one of those things that you will want to take into consideration with honestly any of the models from Monster Fight Club. I like them. They're very good. They have a lot of really good detail. They're just they're not 100%. You know, but regardless, if you want some really, really good Cyberpunk miniatures that are great for whether it's Cyberpunk or Shadowrun or your own homebrew Cyberpunk game, these are going to be great. They're going to look good, and I'm actually really excited to get these up on the table. So there we go. Let me know. What do you think? Did I get something wrong? Have you already built and assembled and painted your Arasaka miniatures? Put it down in the comments. Let me know. Love to talk to you about it. I'm really looking forward to getting this game on the table. So with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.